Hey guys, how's it going? I am getting ready to go on a work trip this week, which I had planned, so I didn't schedule any homeschool for this week. We're taking the week off, and actually next week too, because I have another work trip. But I thought I would just go through some of the stuff to leave for like my husband, so that even though he doesn't need to like do anything, they would have some stuff to do if they wanted. So I keep all of my theme materials in boxes like this with each theme in a folder. And there are a couple themes that we're not going to be doing this year because of these trips and because we're doing like other stuff this year that we're just not doing every single week like we typically do. So there's some themes that had to be cut out, and then some themes that I wanted to do some different types of things because my younger child's interests are a little bit different than my older child. So there's just some things that we took out. So I'm gonna pull out some of the stuff from the themes that we're not doing that I already have resources for, and just kind of see if there's anything good for a 2-3-year-old, something they might like to do while I'm gone that'll give them some little activities. All right, so pulled a couple things out. I'll just show you. So the first thing I pulled out is this big button math. It is like big board games. It has big buttons, and then it just has like little shapes on things, and you can put the buttons on there and count them. So a little bit of counting practice with a manipulative. Always love that. Super easy setup. Gonna be a really easy thing I can leave behind. If I can find this stuff somewhere, I'll try to link it in the description. I'm not sure if I'm gonna be able to, but I'll try to link what I can in case you're interested. I'm also leaving some sequencing type stuff, like patterning. So in this bag, I just have a bunch of colored paper clips, and then I have little strip printables of different sequences or patterns of those. So basically she will just try to match those to the strips, and then also she could arrange them into a number if he wanted to practice that. He's probably not gonna practice that, but basically the patterning is what I'm gonna leave. That's the easy setup, that's the easy activity, so it's probably what they'll do, but there, up close, you can kind of see what those look like. So that is that, and it's really good fine motor too, them trying to clip the paper clips together. It can be really hard at that age, I mean little age 2-3, so that is just in itself a good activity. Another kind of sequencing patterning type of game I have here is more of these little strip printables, and these are math beads. I will link those, I know those exist somewhere, and we love these for math. And so these are math beads, and it comes in different patterns and just a few cards. So different shapes, different patterns, and she can try to match those. And the good thing about these is that these are true to size. So she can actually put them on here, or she could do them above if she wants a little more difficulty. But again, just an easy activity that's kind of already made laminated. He can just pull these out and do the activity. And then just for some more creative fun, I have a whole thing here of just shape foam with little stickers. So she can just work on shapes in a creative, more relaxed manner as well. And I thought that'd be a good time spender for them too. From my theme materials, the space unit had some fun stuff I thought they could do. First off, I have these fun little just props on popsicle sticks, so they can do make-believe play and sending rocket ships to the moon, you know, and having little astronauts. These are super fun. I always have fun with these with them. So I'll leave there for some imaginative play. And then I also have 3 little handouts. This one is for size ordering. This one is circling biggest to smallest. She loves using a dry erase marker, so that'll be good. And then this one is a shadow matching. Again, I will try to link this stuff. I do have more on the back, other activities, which they can or cannot choose. And I have the little pieces just attached with a paper clip here so that it's nice and easy for them to find what goes with what. And then for land, air, water, I did have a few activities I pulled out with instruction cards again, so that he knows how to present it if he wants. So this is basically just the introduction of land, air, water, and I have little vials here with nothing for air, with a little bit of dirt, and then one that's empty now that he'll have to fill with water, but I don't like to store water. You can understand why. And then I also have a little book here on air, and I also have some little flashcards here for land, air sorting. So I will leave that as well. And this should be enough for the 2 weeks that I'm gonna be gone, to not have to pull out things again, to just like have these down on our shelf and for them just to kind of pick up whenever they have a moment where the kids are fighting and they just need to move activities, or a moment where they're bored, or you know, whatever it might be. This should be enough to keep them busy in those times for the time that I'm gone. I also just got a little passports kit. So I'll go show you that because I want to give you kind of a whole review on it. I used to get little passport subscription boxes. We had the like cultural one. And so this is like one of them. When I was going through space, I saw like the old packet, and it's a little activity book. It is for a little bit older than the 2 to 3 age. So I'm not gonna like have this for her. This was more like when Isabel was doing it. But with that box, they had these really cute, every month you would kind of get a little postcard from the travelers, and they would go around to a different area. This one happened to be space, but they would go to like Australia or landmarks and the map, and they had a little suitcase and activities. I loved our little passport boxes, and they had little cards that they could see. It was so cute, such a little cute subscription box. And so we just got the animal one, which is made for a little bit younger of a demographic. And so I thought I would try that out, and I'll probably leave it out, of course, for them to play with while I'm gone. But let's go downstairs and I'll give you kind of a whole review on that, because we really liked that kit too. All right, so this one came in this little box, just like pretty small. Here, when I actually first got it and opened it, I was like, you have to be kidding me. For $120 a month, this is what I get? I was like so disappointed. And then I realized that I was confusing the box, and these are $29.99 a month. And in my head, I was like, I mean, I would pay $30 for this, but not $120. And I was like, oh, that's exactly how much it is. So I love this box. Anyway, yeah, this is the wild animals box. We did set this up and play with it the other day. My 2-year-old, almost 3-year-old daughter were the ones who played with it first, and she loved it. Like, these little animals that it comes with, she was playing pretend with these. We used it for the game. She liked it more than I thought she would, because I was like, oh, a cardboard animal, like, but she liked it. And my 5-year-old, she really liked putting all this stuff together, like the creativity and like figuring how the pieces went together. She really liked that aspect.
So here I will just show you how it all goes together. It's like a little tree, and these things automatically stop. They're different sizes, so you have to do it in the right order. Then these foam leaves go inside that to create like little platforms, and then these are the little catapults.
So this game is basically played by taking one of your little slingshot things, and then you pull it down and you try to get it to like land on, you know, the leaves like that. So for my younger daughter, she actually needed it down on this second notch here, because she had a tendency to pull backwards instead of down. So when it was on this lower one, even if she pulled it backwards a little bit, the little piece still stayed on. Whereas when it's at the top here, if you pull out instead of down, it would just fall off. So for a little bit, like to make it a little harder, I had my 5-year-old do it on the top notch, and then my younger daughter do it on the bottom notch. And that seemed to like help with the frustration, because she did have a little bit of frustration when it was a little hard for her at first. So that trick really helped us with this game, and they really did like this game. And they would do it where they each had a certain color they were trying to get, or just doing random. It could be a 1-player game, it could be a 2-player game, anything like that. And they liked putting the little guy on top and just seeing if they could even knock him over and that sort of thing. So it was a really fun game. And then also I wanted to try to get a little bit more use out of this. So a game that we also did was I took the leaves off the tree, and I kind of just lined them up on the table here, all of them, all 4 of them. And my 1-year-old could then kind of play as well. And so she would just try to put them on the leaves, and she was able to just put them on the leaves with her hands as well when they were on the tree. But she just kind of placed them on the leaves. And then my 2-3-year-old, she was practicing color sorting. So my 1-year-old would put them all on randomly, and then my 2-3-year-old, she would take them and try to put them by color. So that was a good way for them to kind of play together and get another use out of these. Another way we kind of played with these was getting our store basically out. They have like little purses, little play purses, and we use these as money to shop for different animals that we have. We also like lined these up at each leaf and then put them, you know, with their correct animal so that it was like not just their sorting, but like based on the animal. And the one like negative I would say about this box is these animals. While they are like cool and I like that you can take them apart and put them back together, it's just really hard to get them to stay up like they're supposed to. You have to really bend them like at the right spot. And so for a kid, they just, I don't know, I just didn't really love that the way that they're manufactured and the way that they are kind of cardboard and have to be a certain way to stand, because it kind of makes it harder for them to do on their own, and it just led to a lot of frustration. So that would be the one downside, I think. But once we got them, then she did really like it. So I don't know, I would maybe just have an actual figurine rather than something that's cardboard that you put together. I think that would be kind of more worth it to me, in my opinion. But that's just what it is. And it comes with 4. It comes with like a little macaw. And this guy. Sorry, the lighting's really bad in here because it's a really gloomy day here. And then the little tree frog too. So came with those 4. And what's kind of cool is that the other piece to this, kind of like the learning part of this, is this little guy. So this is like a little booklet, and here you can actually store, whether you want to store the little pieces in here or you want to take these guys apart and store them in there. You know, either one would probably work, but it's pretty simple. You just kind of like open the book, attach the 2 sides, and then it comes with a little clip. Where did I put it? Right here. And then you can kind of like, basically it's like a paper clip, and you can clip it together. So then each side of these has the different parts of the forest. So we have the forest floor, the emergent layer, the canopy layer, and then the understory layer. And so the first day that we had this, I kind of just in general went through this, and we said that there are 4 layers to the rainforest, and I showed her like each animal that we have correlates to an animal on here, and we just kind of like looked at it. Then as the days progressed, like each day we kind of focused on one little part. So we started with the forest floor layer here, and we just went through. We talked about each animal on here, again, put it here, asked questions, did the little activities. There's little activities on each page, and some of them have like a pull out or a pop-up or something. So we would spend a lot of time doing this, and she would you know, talk about maybe this one eating what's under here, and just really talking and spending time on one page. And she would really get into this. Juliana and I would spend maybe like a good 7 minutes, I want to say, on each like just one page. Like this was very interesting to her and just really kept her attention. So then the next day we would really focus on the understory and do the same thing. The next day on the emergent canopy layer, and then the next day on the emergent layer. And then on the next day we kind of did a review, and she was able to like ask questions. So we actually used this all week long for like the little rainforest. And I actually have a preschool theme where we do rainforest all week. So this would actually be a really good resource. I'm gonna throw this into that bin for that, so that every time we do rainforest theme, I have this and we can talk about this and use this as the science for that rainforest theme. So I actually really like that. And then these I'll probably actually keep with that, and then the other game I might keep on our game shelf so that they can play it whenever, but also I'll put right into my lesson plan that when we do rainforest we can pull that game out as well. So yeah, this was the box. All in all, there was less in the box than I expected, to be honest. I expected there to be just a little bit more, because if it's a monthly subscription, I would think you would have more than like 2 or 3 things to do. But I will say that the things that were in it, my kids actually did enjoy. So I'm glad it was like $30. If it was probably any more than that, I would not probably have gotten it. So I do think it's at a pretty good price point, and I do like that you can cancel. Like, you don't have to get a whole subscription, like a year subscription, to get the box. You can cancel anytime. You can do 1 month. So I did really like that. And as I kind of mentioned before, we also have done the cultural box, and I loved that one. Like, I really like this one. I loved that other one, the one for, I think it's a little bit older though. It's like 5 to 7 maybe, or 5 to 8, something like that. But I really, really, really loved that one. So either of them are good options, but definitely if you were only picking one and you had a child who was around the 4 or 5 age, I would go with the cultural one over this one. But for the younger kids, this really is probably a better box, because a lot of the stuff that came in the cultural one might be a little bit too advanced for my youngers. So yeah, that's kind of my full review on this box. I would recommend it, and we do really like it. And then the one other thing I thought I'd show you, like in prep for me going on this work trip, is this thing right here. I keep this for Dan. It is basically just a list of what we're having for dinner. And so here on the nights that I'm gonna be gone, I basically went through and wrote down the freezer meals that we have in the freezer so that he can just pull whatever they're feeling for that night and have an option. I am a huge proponent of doubling what you make and freezing one and eating one for dinner for exactly reasons like this. There are times where you're just too busy to cook. I had too much work, and then it's school pickup and I just don't have enough time to prep dinner before sports, or I'm going out of town for 3 days and I want to make it easy on my husband so that he doesn't have to go out and find dinner or make dinner or go out and get dinner, like whatever it might be. I like to just have it easy that he can just pull it out. We know we like it and it's there ready for him. So if you do not double and freeze, sometimes that's just like a big productivity, efficiency, like type of thing, because we all have days where we're just too busy. So if you are able just to pull out a freezer meal that you've made, one that's tried and true, makes life so much easier. So I always do that whenever I'm getting ready to travel. And I mean, other than that too, I usually like write down when he should leave to do pickup, when he should start lunch so that they're not tired. You know, I'm the one here with them most of the time. So just those little nuances, like having lunch at 11:30 instead of 12 when he would normally have it, is a big, you know, thing, because Rosemary needs to go to sleep by 12, or she's just too cranky and then overtired and gets slap happy. Like those just little things are helpful. He knows the daytime, like morning routine. He knows the nighttime routine. Like he's normally here. I don't have to write those down for him. But just kind of those daytime tricks that he wouldn't know because he's not home most of the time. You can see here we started fall decor, fall decorating, and Isabel has been doing like most of it. She's super into it. Typically I like everything curated a really specific way. I like to make it look all nice, but she's just so into it. She's so proud of what she picks. So I'm just gonna let her do the decorating with me this year. And even if it's not perfect, part of the fun is just letting the kids help and letting it do it. So it doesn't have to be that Pinterest perfect home. This is gonna make us happy this year, but it was super exciting to get some of this done. It's super dark in here so you can't really see, but like we did the little mantle too, and she decided this is where she wanted this hung, not on there, which is where I would have put it. And she did this little section here, which might be a little different than normal that I would normally do, but she just loves it. And I love that she loves it because I love it, and it's just fun decorating for fall. All right, well, that's it for today. Hope you guys have a good week, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.